Hey everyone, Tristan back with another video, and in this video I am showing the qtimex 1979 reissue watch. It retails for about $179. However, right now they're sold out, and actually they're going on eBay for significantly more. It's turned out to be a pretty hot watch. They are going to be re-releasing a second batch of these sometime in September, I understand, from Timex. So check the links in the description field below. Keep refreshing that to see if you can get one directly from Timex. I will also put a link to these on eBay if you want to pay a little bit more perhaps and get one of these. This is a quartz watch, and it has proven to be just a really popular watch and selling out really fast. The main thing about it, I think it's just a really cool watch for the price. It's really retro. It's got a retro styling to it. It's got this mesh bracelet, which is really nice. It looks a lot like Rolex Pepsi GMT, but of course it's not. The thing about the Timex Q watch is it came out in 1979 when quartz watches were actually considered the latest, greatest, newest thing, and quartz watches at that time were really very expensive. And this was one of the first sort of mass market watches that Timex came out with in 1979, where the quartz watch was actually pretty inexpensive. So from a historical perspective, this reissue watch is pretty unique in that respect. So it is not a mechanical watch. It does take a battery, but that doesn't really bother me, especially when you consider the historical aspect of it. As you can see, it is a very cool looking watch. As I said, retro styling. I will put it on my wrist later. You can see what it looks like. One of the really cool things about it is that the crystal on it is an acrylic domed crystal, as you can see here. See how it's sort of domed like that? And I love that. I actually don't really like sapphire crystals. I like the acrylic crystals. Like the Omega Speedmaster Moonwatch has that. My Rolex 5513 in here has that as well. And it reflects a lot differently. It's not as reflective, so you can really see the dial a lot easier. Also, it doesn't really shatter, so if you impact it on something, it won't really shatter. It can crack or break, but it won't really shatter. They tend to be pretty strong. The other thing is, I guess it's maybe a negative. You might look at it as a negative, but the acrylic plastic crystal can scratch easier than a sapphire crystal. But on the plus side, it can be polished out with the product called like Polywatch or other plastic polishes. So, that's a plus to it. But mainly, it's just so retro and cool to have this bubble. Sapphire crystals aren't technically like a bubble like that, as you can see, like right there in that angle. Really a cool, aspect to this watch. I'm very glad they didn't bring this watch back with a sapphire crystal because it wasn't originally sapphire, and that acrylic crystal is very much the same as I mentioned my mid-80s Rolex 5513. You can kind of see right here, it's got the domed acrylic crystal as well. It's just something that I really like. It's actually my preference for crystals to be the acrylic sapphire crystal. Just really cool and retro, and I just think they're better. So the bezel on this is a rotating bezel, but it does not click. It's just a smooth turning bezel. And this watch is a 38mm watch, so it's a really good size. It's just a perfect size. It's not too big, not too small. And this is sort of the side view. This is the back view. It does take a battery. And as you can see, just like the original, it has this little battery thing right here. We can put a coin in here to replace the battery yourself very easily. And it takes a 377 cell battery, watch cell battery. I'm not really sure how long the battery will last. As you can see here, it says the movement is Japan and the bracelet is China. So the movement, I believe, is the Seiko movement, made in Japan. And the manufacturing or the bracelet is made in China. On the bracelet, you don't have any kind of links to remove, to resize it, or anything like that. It's really easy. You just actually put a little watch tool in here, like a little mini screwdriver, very gently, and you pop that up, and then this clasp moves up and down to size it. And so you would move it that way, to the left to make it smaller, or to the right to make it larger. And then the way it clasps is you just, clasp it right in like this, and, it works really well. The plus of that is you can really get it sized to your wrist very precisely just by sliding this up and down, in micro movements or whatever, and it works really well. As you can see, the dial on it is a dark blue, and I really do like the lume on it and the markers. It's got the sort of popsicle type look to them. really a cool retro style, just a very good looking watch, and as that Flossy Carter guy on YouTube would say, on a scale of 1 to 10, this thing is a go. For watches under $500, I think this is a watch that's going to be very hard to beat, and just a really cool watch indeed. Let me go ahead and put it on so you can see what it looks like on wrist. Alright, so this is what it looks like on wrist, and as you can see here, it fits my relatively thin wrist pretty well. It does sort of fit a little bit like a bigger watch, even though it's only a 38mm diameter dial. The case of it actually kind of is larger than that, so it does fit the wrist really well. I just think it's a really cool watch for the price, and it's just really kind of like a retro style and just a really cool watch any way you look at it. And the Pepsi on it is pretty hot as well, and the dial and indicator markers and all that is really pretty cool on it. It's not real precise in terms of the second hands matching up exactly with the second markers, but as you can see there, it's not too bad depending on the angle that you're looking at it. But that's sort of one complaint. But in terms of design-wise, fit-wise, and price, absolutely no issues or no complaints with this watch at all. And let me go ahead and turn the lights off. I don't know if it's dark enough in this room, but maybe we can see the lume and see how it glows, because the hour markers and the hands do glow in the dark. Okay, I have the lights off. You can't really see it because the room's not totally dark, but you can kind of see that they are glowing there if I go like that. So in a totally dark room, the lume is pretty bright on the watch. And then here's just another view of the watch with most of the lights in the room off. And here's the box that it comes in. It comes in a nice watch box. It says Timex right there. So you've got an outer box, and then you've got an inner box here, which has sort of a leather-like feel to it. And then when you open the inner box, you can kind of see some of the wording here. It says, a reissue 40 years in the making. First released in 1979, our original diver-inspired qtimex gave a new generation a modern Timex watch with quartz technology. A true reissue, we recreated every detail, including the True to era woven stainless steel bracelet, functional battery hatch, rotating top ring, luminescent paint, and ticking inside is a modern quartz movement. And then below here, if you lift this up, you have like your warranty and stuff like that right under here. I believe it does not come with actual instructions, but you can get instructions online and print them out there or whatever. So yeah, that's just what it comes with. So this has been my look at the qtimex 1979 reissue quartz watch. Really a cool watch, and one that's definitely worth taking a look at. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video.